I was fully awake when I realized that whenever another sphere of aware light came into contact with me, there was an immediate and spontaneous exchange between us of our respective memory and understanding. This is why I say we are individual spheres of communion within the universal sphere of communion. Because when we come into contact there, all that we know and all that we are passes uninhibited between us in a natural and open communion of shared being. Spheres of aware light touch and so exchange the totality of their experience and assimilate one another's experience into their own. I was fully awake when all the individual spheres of communion came into contact with one another at the same time, breaking through every dam of individuality and flooding us all in the totality of our shared being. This is why I suspect its name is the sphere of universal communion. Because when all the individual spheres of aware light periodically come into contact at the same time, every individual awareness that ever has or ever will exist is spontaneously and immediately at one with the One. I cannot say what it is that periodically draws all of us together at the same time, but, cause aside, its effect is the complete and overwhelming experience of every drop of awareness in the ocean suddenly merging into the single sea of awareness. My body was dead for 2 minutes, but for me, the time passed as if it were many years. Other individual spheres of aware light, many of great depth of understanding, with the memory of thousands of lifetimes, generously taught me lessons to bring back and make use of in this lifetime. Such, it seems, is the loving kindness of our collective ancestors, who care so deeply that this era of transformation is one of metamorphosis and not one of atrophy. There is one last thing I have come to believe since returning to this realm of the body and its 5 senses. Although it is much more difficult to perceive here than in the sphere of universal communion, we are no less individual spheres of communion here than we are there. Once I had experienced what it feels like to recognize myself as a sphere of aware light in the bodiless state, I found I had become sensitive enough to perceive myself as that same sphere of communion here with a body, and sensitive enough to recognize that everyone else is a similar sphere of aware light as well. Moreover, although it is more difficult to perceive the spontaneous and immediate exchange of understanding and memory that occurs when we individual spheres of communion come into contact here, I believe it occurs nonetheless, even if not in our conscious awareness. So, what I have come to believe, moving from life to death and back again, is this: just as learning to live is actually preparing to die, it seems clear that preparing to die is actually learning to live. It's been 11 years since I died, and I have been reticent to speak about it too soon, for fear of colouring my account with the profound emotions of the experience. As with so many others who have undergone such an experience, the depth of those emotions has moved me to dedicate the remainder of this lifetime to giving expression to the lessons I learned while outside this lifetime. There you have it. That's the best account I can give. It's all still as fresh today as it was when it happened. By now it doesn't seem strange at all to say things like, dying is one of the most meaningful events in life. Clearly, the near-death experience has changed me, filled me with a deeper appreciation of the sacredness of everything. And I apologize ahead of time for the clumsiness of my report. Words that were invented to describe this world fail to paint a picture of that other realm.